welcome to another installment of this little series about my sim cockpit and all the crazy stuff I added over the years and months. This is a little mini update, little mini series about a couple of changes that I made to my rig and my recording setup in basically the last couple of months, and I thought it's probably better to do a little series about this than just one whole big video. This will be 4 parts. The first part is about the recording setup and the changes I made. I recently made a video about my recording setup, and yeah, typically me, I already changed everything again and it's all brand new, which I'm very excited about. I think it has turned out really cool. The second part will be a little update about my pedals. The third part will be about shifter pedals and mods and such, and the fourth part about my H pattern shifter. Anyway, let's start with part 1 here, the recording setup. Okay, the recording setup, just as a little reminder in case you haven't seen the video about it, I basically used a Logitech C920 webcam, which is mounted on this thing here. About here, and filmed myself while driving and put all of that with a couple of overlays and such into OBS, which was running on the second computer. This is this one here. Over there is the gaming computer, somewhere there, yeah. And that's basically how I made my videos. It was quite a bit more complicated, but I still use most of that apart from this camera here. I think I found a way to make OBS not crash on me all the time. I think it was the direct audio plugin I used to get the audio from the gaming computer to the recording computer. I don't need that anymore because I found a little handy piece of software called Voicemeeter, or Voicemeeter Banana, which lets you mix down a couple of audio sources and just record it in OBS, because OBS only can, by default, can only record one audio source and one microphone. Anyway, I still use parts of that, but the big change is this one here. Oops. A little Xiaomi, I don't speak Chinese, I'm sorry, action cam. Just like a GoPro, but only much cheaper, but really good quality actually. And I had to make a couple of changes to it, a couple of mods, which I will talk about later on. But this is my main camera. It's mounted to my head with this strap here. Look at the very sexy sock mod I made to the thing to make it more comfortable. I'm not totally happy with that yet, but anyway, that is mounted to my head. And then I'll have actually 3 more cameras. This one here is a C920, which I used as a main camera. Used to use as a main camera. It's not only filming this tablet here running Dashmeter Pro to give you an info screen with my pedal inputs, dashes, lap times, everything. The second camera. Oops. Second camera is over here. It's a Logitech also webcam C525. That's basically filming myself from roughly this perspective, giving you views of shifting and such. Oh, there are my wheels. And the third camera is over here. It's the same one I already used for pedal cam. It's an old Logitech. I can't remember the type. It's down there. Yeah, and as you can see, I basically covered the whole rig in black molten curtain stuff. It looks better from this perspective. It's more, you feel more immersed. You will see the quality in the videos. I really like it actually. Yeah, that's basically all that has happened there. I I had to tweak a lot of stuff. Actually, it was much more work again than I thought it would be. Especially, well, a couple of things. I mean, it's details. I also covered the monitors. The side monitors had silver. These parts here are actually in silver. Covered them in black tape. Little things like that. But the main problem was, the main thing was the camera, which I will tell you about now. Yeah, now for the camera. I call you Socks. Lovely. As mentioned, Xiaomi Sports Action Cam. Really good little cam. Really very high quality components actually. I mean, I can show you them. I undid the cover. This is the cover. There's actually also a white version and also a black version, I think. Anyway, it's basically almost the same quality as a GoPro, but for much less money, which is great. The only problem with action cameras in general is they have very wide angle lens, which works great for action shots, but not in my case. I mean, I saw people use cameras like these filming the rigs, but I think they have bigger screens usually, or sit closer, or both. Anyway, the main reason why I used a camera like this, why I switched to a camera like this, is first the point of view. I think it's much more immersive to watch the racing from my point of view than from behind my shoulder, basically. And secondly, this one can actually really record now in 1080p 60 frames per second, which is great. It makes a big difference, even with YouTube's compression and everything. I think the quality is much better now. But as mentioned, the lens is a problem, so I ended up ordering a couple of different lenses from cheap Chinese sources. Yeah, I had to try a couple of them. These are here until I found the one that really works best for me. This one here is the standard, the factory lens that comes with the camera. I will show you shots. As you can see, the perspective doesn't really work. It's too wide of an angle, too far away. Not good. So the next one was this here. It's 4.35mm focal length, non-fisheye. I actually found out in the end that fisheye actually works better than non-fisheye. But this one, as you can see in the shot here, it wasn't bad. I mean, it's too close. It's a little bit too close, especially on big when you watch the video on big screens. It's a bit confusing, and you probably can actually get dizzy from watching it. But that was actually almost it. This one here is quite similar. This one here was too far away again, too wide of an angle. 2.97, I think, millimeter focal length. You can see the shot here. Yeah, also not perfect. This one would have worked great in terms of field of view, 4.2mm, but fisheye. The only problem are these two letters here, if it would focus. IR. I thought it means IR cut filter, but no, there is no. Usually there's a little layer here down there somewhere. You can see it here. Yeah, here you can see it, which filters the infrared part of the light, and this lens doesn't do that, and this is why the video looks like that. Field of view is great, but of course the colors, yeah, not usable. The one I ended up using is very similar. It's 4.0mm focal length, but also IR. And in the end I ended up ordering a little piece of filter glass, which is actually, I think, for completely different application, I think, but it works well. But it took me some time to actually find it online. Anyway, that's the camera. Yeah, I think it was worth the effort. I think the result is great. It's a little bit more editing work now again, but I can live with that. I think the quality is worth it. So I hope you like it too. That was part 1, and see you in part 2.